Aloha. Welcome to my vacation home. I took a couple days off. Not sure if you noticed. I certainly didn't. Um, but I'm really interested in building out this idea of attention inside and outside because there's secrets to living better lives in it, or life, depending on what it is. So, here's another way I want to look at things, all right? Like the up and the down. I didn't frame this well. Okay. All right. I'll hold it up. So consider this like baseline normal, which really doesn't exist. But in general, it's like the mean, the median of what's going on in our lives. Energetically so, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take, you hear people talk about like vibes, like it's high vibes, low vibes. I'm sure that's a thing, but we're gonna kind of flip it here just for ease. So the high is going to be negative, but even it's not really that, right? This is just life. This is just attention, the way our vibrations go, right? And the low is going to be presence or being or mindfulness or, you know, yeah, that'll make sense, I think. So take these two extremely distinct line patterns, right? Don't forget, this is normal, for lack of a better word. And this is going to be like distraction, like when you're worse than normal, you're tired, you're annoyed, you're really just out of sorts, right? Like you can tell, like you're not in your body, you're not really in your mind, you're not really in your emotions, and you're just kind of frustrated. So that's sort of what this red is, right? The blue is peace, joy, contentment, tranquility, presence, right? This is presence. This is what mindfulness is trying to achieve, what mindfulness is trying to get us back to. So this normal, little sort of negative, little frustrated, a little out of it, this is grounded, really. This is kind of why I did it, because I think this is, more grounded. So here's the thing, right? This is sort of us as we usually are, and then we're trying to avoid this, being identified, being frustrated, being in conflict and all of that. We want to come down to this, right? This is grounding, this is peace, this is tranquility. The thing is, the way I see it, the metaphysics that I agree with, that I've learned from many, many sources, certainly way more intelligent and ancient than I am, this is normal. This is actually normal. This is what we see as normal because it's been, kind of normalized. But our normal situation is to be with God, to be with nature, to be at one with the universe. Whatever word that works, or even within your body. This is our normal state, right? Normal is not necessarily the same as natural. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily the same. We take this to be natural. We take this to be natural now, especially these days with a lot of the things that take us out of our body, but it's not. This normal, this is natural, right? And so if that sort of makes sense to you, and I hope it does, because I think there's a lot to this, out of ourselves, normal, within ourselves. This is where we always really are, right? Even if we don't know it or not, even if we're here or here, underneath everything is this peace, this joy, this contentment. You don't always see it. You certainly can't always be there when maybe you're trying to feed your kids and, there's not enough money, or you might be being bombed by a foreign power. I totally get that. But I have done a lot of work to verify that we are truly from here, from joy, from peace. The problem is that these things do happen. So the grounding, the coming back to this through mindfulness practice, consciousness practices, shadow work, through a lot of work, through embodiment practices, a whole lot of practices. It's an uncovering to come to here. This is why I wanted to sort of work it this way vertically. It's not an adding on, right? Mindfulness, consciousness, being, presence, wakefulness, waking up, whatever you want to call it. I have my preferences, you might have yours, is an uncovering. It's an uncovering to what is naturally there, right? What is always there. It's a simplifying. We call it enlightenment. Well, what would be an enlightenment other than an unburdening, right? You're lightening. You're letting go of baggage. You're letting go of things. It's always underneath. So it's for this reason that I would suggest to you that mindfulness practices, things like that, are not doings, right? You are doing something, but it's an undoing. It's an unraveling. It's unbecoming, right, of stuff. That you could play a lot of mental games to that, but it's an undoing of things. So you are sitting there, but it doesn't look like you're doing much, because you're undoing karma, you're undoing programming, you're undoing psychic thoughts and psychic plaque and all of that. And I do think those are all real things. Not evilness necessarily, excuse me, but you're undoing those. So it's a not doing. So it can be really tricky, because we really take this as, we can take this as a thing like we're learning to do something like computer hacking skills, bow hunting skills, etc. Really essential skills like that. But we're not adding on like here. That happens, and that's fine. You know, I have a guitar here. I have learned guitar for years, and that's a skill that I put on. But at the same time, at its heart is a presence, is an embodiment, the not doing. So that's what mindfulness is to me, and I thought I'd throw that out to people, and just to see what they thought of it, because it really is, a lot of the time, that understanding can help when you realize it's going back to the source, going back to the truth, the true one truth, right? Rather than just like, oh, I don't have time for mindfulness, I just do, I just lift weights instead. I just play guitar instead. I just, do Italian cookery instead. Those are all fine things, but at their heart is what we call mindfulness and being in presence. So again, great things, but at their heart, if there's a real great creativity and a healing there, it's because it comes down to this level of first principles of body, of presence, of wakefulness. So, many, many ways to get there, but I just wanted to put that out there. Thanks for listening. It's getting late. It's Wednesday. Feels like Thursday. Anyways, bring it down. Bring it down, baby. Thank you.